Hey, there I am. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Cohn phone. I'm still in Cincinnati. I'll be here for an hour. Then I got to pack and take a flight. So I'm going to take your calls real quick while I wait for the waiting room to populate. I want to talk about what's on my mind real quick. Robbie Gould. Robbie Gould. His name is Robbie Gould. And yesterday, he was Robbie Fool's Gold, and we were all making fun of him. And if the Niners had lost that game, if the Niners had freaking lost, he would have been the GOAT, or just merely not won, tied in overtime. Something's up with Robbie Gould. He hasn't been the same since 2019. He injured himself earlier this year. I think, is it a physical thing? Is it a mental thing? People be really pissed at him right now if the Niners had lost that game. So let's talk about him. Can the Niners count on him going forward? I think the thing that's going on with him is mental. If you remember, he held out. He didn't want to play for this team anymore. Some people get mad at him because he held out and he gets a lot of money, but the Niners were the ones that decided they had to have him. He wanted to go back to the Bears. He wanted to go to Chicago. He's from Chicago, and I believe his family lives in Chicago, his wife, his kids. He wanted to be with them. I think he's out here on his own. So I think there could be an element of this, like a 39-year-old, 40-year-old man who might be a little unhappy. He didn't want to be here. The Niners said, too bad. We need you. You're one of our most important players. And now he's playing like, I don't know, really bad. So my thing with Robbie Gould is, are the Niners keeping him here against his will? Would they be better off just letting him go and getting a kicker that wants to be here? I think Robbie Gould's probably still a good kicker, but I don't know. If his heart isn't in it, if his heart isn't in San Francisco, why should his leg be in San Francisco? I don't know. I think the Niners may need to move on from the Robbie Gould experience after this year. It's not working out. All right, let's take some calls. Hayden.
Yo, Grant.
Yo, man, what's up?
Wait, I can't hear you.
Can't hear me?
No, I can't hear you. Like, I heard you like when you were talking. Now I can't hear you.
Okay, well, call back in. We'll see if we can make this work. Yo, man, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, what's up?
So is Cincy treating you well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was cold, but it didn't snow or anything. It was good.
That's a good thing. Cold.
Yeah.
I hate cold and snow together. Horrible combination.
Yeah.
From the game, it's good to see Bosa getting 2 sacks. He's up to 14 now, I think, for this season. So I didn't expect that.
No, me neither. He could get 20.
Yep. And the one thing from the game that kind of still kills me is the offense scores 17 points in the first half, and that's a good thing. But then they kind of stutter in the second half and only able to score 3 points. So that's, to me, you need at least somewhat consistent offense throughout the season to, not have to be in that kind of position.
Tell me if you look at it the same way, but the Niners won the game, and it was dramatic. It was overtime, and they won it with that drive. And, like, afterwards, there's a lot of emotions, and you want to praise them and say nice things. But then you sleep on it, and you're like, man, Cincinnati lost that game in the first quarter. The win, and it's a big win for the Niners, but it's hard to make big statements about the Niners when Cincinnati lost that game more than the Niners won it.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I thought Joe Burrow, Cincinnati didn't find ways to get more points early, and that kind of, that allowed the 49ers to get up. I mean,
that was just like manna from the gods. Like, I guess it evens out, though, because the Niners have been making mistakes like that on special teams, too.
Yeah, to me, I think Cincinnati got the first-round pick correct last season when they drafted Joe Burrow. Looks like he's going to be their starting quarterback for 10 seasons. It's something they needed for a long time.
It's funny. I'm here. I didn't have that impression of Joe Burrow. I think he's good. Reminded me a lot of Jimmy, I got to say. Like, Jimmy before, well, he has the AC. Yeah, he reminded me of Jimmy. A little bit better than Jimmy. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The way I feel is that this Bengals team is going to be really good next year. Kind of the feeling I had about Arizona last year. Like, really talented, really young. They're going to have another round of first-round picks and free agency. Like, this team's going to load up next year. Burrow's going to be in his third year. They're going to have Chase, Higgins. It's going to be a really good team. And that's why this season for the Niners to me is so strange. Like, are they contenders this year? Are they contenders next year? I don't know. it's strange. Like you can see the clear progression for the Bengals where they're building up to, but the Niners are going to have this whole switch next year where they're going to go to Trey Lance no matter what. And I don't know, like, is that going to be their year or is 2023 going to be their year? It looks like 2023 is going to be their year. I don't know.
Yeah, the thing that kind of got me about this past offseason is you traded to number 3, but you didn't cut Jimmy to allow Trey to get all the reps and allow him to at least develop and make all those mistakes. Because
to me, like, what I don't get it is I know Niner fans are excited about the playoffs, and that's all it matters right now. But to me, you're thinking about a Super Bowl window. And to me, the Super Bowl window closed when they lost the Super Bowl. And what was encouraging about this offseason is that I thought they were opening a new Super Bowl window with Lance. But what they decided to pivot to was actually the Super Bowl window with Jimmy isn't closed, and we're going to give one more chance at it. Okay, I think it is closed. You're 7-6, and even though you beat the Bengals, this season depends on the Niners winning, beating Aaron Rodgers on the road in the playoffs, and then beating Brady on the road in the playoffs, and and then beating Mahomes, something like that. And so, barring that, anyway, great win.
it's a good win.
Great win.
Always celebrate every win.
Great win.
I did send you a message in Discord whenever you get a chance.
Yes, you're coming out. Which one for this week or the Houston one?
Later this week.
Oh, nice. All right, man.
Yep.
I'll hit you up.
Yep. Have a safe trip.
All right, take care.
Yep.
Hey, man.
What's up?
What's up? How you doing?
I'm doing good, doing good.
What's on your mind? What do you
What's
think of
on
this
my
win?
mind? Well, first, like the last caller said about the same thing, the Niners not being able to play 60 minutes of football like this entire season. I think the one game that they did was against the Rams. That was the only game where it was like from start to finish.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. But other than that, it's either they'll have the lead and they'll lose it, or they have to play from behind every game. And it's just getting really frustrating to see it. Another thing I wanted to touch on, like you said.
You know why though? Because they're a 7-6 mediocre, inconsistent team.
Of course.
I'm sorry. I mean, they won yesterday, and that's great, but they're a 7-6 inconsistent, mediocre team.
Exactly.
And 1 week they're at the goal line, they lose it. 1 week they're at the goal line, they win it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then another thing I wanted to touch on too was George Kittle. Like you said yesterday, he's just playing out of his mind right now.
Yes.
And I
He
made
put
a
the team on his back
comment
the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. I made a comment on Facebook and I said, if Trey Lance is what everybody says he is, Kittle's numbers are going to go skyrocket once Lance gets situated and he gets rolling.
What I thought was so impressive about Kittle in this game was a lot of those throws were not on target, and he was flailing and diving and lunging, and he made those catches.
And he's got to be tired of catching those passes, dude. Like, because every time he goes up, I'm like, dude, he's going to get rocked.
Yep.
He's going to get hurt. He's got to be like, dude, like, I love Jimmy, but I'm so tired of those high passes where I got to extend myself to catch them. And it's like, it's amazing catches, but it's like, I want a quarterback that can throw the receivers in stride and they don't have to stop and turn around and catch it. They can just continue running. Because could you imagine Kittle catching like an easy breadbasket pass heading towards end zone? It'd be a touchdown pretty much every time. Every time. And then I had one more question for you too, if I can. Is the 2-minute offense that the Niners run, is it different from their regular offense? Because Garoppolo is always automatic in the 2-minute offense, if you notice. He's like, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why don't you just, if it's different than the regular offense, just run the 2-minute offense all the time? Because this guy, he's just like hitting receivers, getting ball down the field during the 2 minutes. It seems like every time they have to drive late in the game, under 2 minutes, he's just like hitting. And it's like, well, if that's the case, just run it like that all the time.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'll look at that in the film thing tomorrow with Jack. That's a good question. It's got to be something to it, right? Good observation. Yeah.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Grant.
All right, thanks for calling. Nathan says, just heard a report saying the staff might not move on from Jimmy. Who said that? Evidently, they were impressed with Jimmy's professionalism. I was curious. Peter King was at the game yesterday. Did he have any epiphanies? Did he have any opinions today? Was he talking to John Lynch yesterday? I'm curious. Does Peter King have anything to say about the Niners today? Hayden, man, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
All right, man. What's up?
Okay, I'm just okay, this is my only thing. Are they developing Trey Lance?
No. It's what lost year for him, but it's okay. They're 7-6.
Yay, 7-6. This
7-6.
great.
Yay!
I know. Okay, I have another thing. Robbie Gould, he is stressing me out because if we even get close to the playoffs,
I know, right? Robbie Gould.
If it comes down to him, I don't trust him.
I don't either. And
I'd rather
I
have
think
what was the guy we had who would make a
Joey Sly?
55-yarder but couldn't make a 30-yarder?
Joey Sly. Yeah, he's gone. He's on someone else's team. He's on might be on Washington now. I forget.
He was really weird. He would make like a 55-yarder and then miss like
I know.
a 25-yarder.
Yeah.
That was a weird kicker. But anyways,
Yeah.
something with Robbie Gould, he just needs to get it because I don't trust him at all.
No, and I said it may not be just physical with him. I mean, he didn't want to play for this team. The Niners were like, "Sorry, you have
so
to."
you were at the game yesterday. What did you see in practice? Because I didn't see your like reaction or anything. I don't know if you posted it.
Watching Robbie Gould, yeah, I meant to. I wanted to point that out. Like in warmups, he tried a 48-yarder and totally squibbed. Like it didn't even. It was just kind of like end over end, real low, and hit the bottom of the crossbar.
Was it a 47? When the game was on the line, wasn't it a 47-yarder?
Right.
And he squibbed the 48?
Well, yeah. I mean, it was end over end. It hit the crossbar. I didn't get it on film. And then he tried one more and hit the next one. But I was thinking, man, if this game comes down to a long field goal, I don't know.
Yeah, I like when the game was going on, I was like, I don't really trust him because last week he missed an extra point and I think another field goal. So I don't know.
Yeah. Are the Niners contenders? I don't know. What's up with Robbie Gould? That's a good question, right?
I know because like a lot of these games in the playoffs are going to come down to like the extra points, the stuff you need to make, and he's barely hitting those. So.
Again, and if the Niners had lost this game,
all
we would be talking about is Robbie Gould. Robbie Gould. So it's a good point. I mean, it's going to come back up.
We're still talking about it because we're looking at like if we even make the playoffs.
Right. What are we? Yeah. How is this guy going to factor in? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Hayden. Good call.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Later. He had the flat brim with the sticker still on. That's flossing. Hey, thank you for becoming a member. All right. Hold on. Let me put up the little thing. The little thing. Boom. Darius, can you hear me?
Man, top of the morning, Grant.
Oh, what's up, man? How you doing?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm blessed, man. How you feeling, man?
I'm just waking up, doing all right.
All right, yeah. So check it out. So for sure, okay. Hey, there's a delay going on between us, but real quick, I wanted to ask you a question about as far as the office goes, right? Like you have Jerry Rice and you have Steve Young, and they care so much about the Niners and all this good stuff. But why are they not working for the organization to bring some type of, player suit type relationship in? Because I don't know, it just seems like there's a disconnect when it comes to Kyle and these players, man. And it's like I'm not buying this whole Trey Lance is not ready crap when you don't know nothing, you don't know who you have. Like Jennings is a star, like, you know what I'm saying? Even Ross Dwelly, even though he's been declining, I thought he was dope. Charlie Warner's dope. Like they're not getting no PT. He mishandled Trey Sermon, and I don't know. I just feel like maybe if you had like a Rice or somebody that understands players and development, maybe it will look a little different than what it does now. And I just wanted to know, like why are they not in the organization like 100%? They're just talking about it.
It's a good question. I would think a guy like Jerry Rice, to get him to do a job like that, you'd have to pay him a lot of money because he probably golfs all the time. I would imagine he has a really nice life of golfing and he crashes weddings. You ever hear that? He just crashes weddings. Jerry Rice. Anyway, Steve Young gets paid millions of dollars to talk about football by ESPN. You got to make it worth their while. But to your point of the 49ers, like kind of not giving young guys a chance like Trey Lance and sort of like determining what they are based on some practice reps or something. I think it's a good point because, I mean, they wrote off Brandon Ayuk earlier in the season, and now all of a sudden he's like winning them games. It's like, oh, whoops, maybe we were too hard on him. And maybe our judgment of him based on practice was incorrect because it seems like he's always been the same guy. I don't see a different Brandon Ayuk. This has always been him. The difference is he's getting the ball now.
Thank you. Right.
Hey, good call, man.
And that's what's killing me. It's like you acting like you. Yeah, thank you, man.
Oh, you can finish. Keep going.
Hello?
You still there?
All right, yeah. So
You can
I'm
finish.
just saying, like, they're, yeah. Okay, my bad. So it's like they're acting as if they're just now stumbling across these guys, or like their process is why they're performing. Like, no, Kyle, like what you did to him in the beginning did not do nothing for him other than, probably make him mad when he went home and he talked
Right.
about it to his girl or something. But it's like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like they're still the same guys, man. Like I don't see nothing different. Like let them play, let them be who they are. Even Ambry Thomas, like, even though he looked a little bad yesterday, it's like these guys need to develop, man. It's like stop putting. It's like these toys that the kid don't want to play with no more. He just puts them away, like nah, man. Like get these kids out the toy box, man. Let them run amongst other toys, man. Let them really get it in, man. Stop, because it's like you don't know what that's doing to their ego or to their self-esteem, and it's just crazy. And one thing I do know for sure, I don't care what nobody says, man. Trey Lance is going to be great when he finally gets his chance, man. Like you can't tell me nothing. If Mac Jones can lead his team to a playoff with a well-developed script and a great defense, I don't know why Trey Lance can't do the same thing. And I feel like our receiver core is better than theirs. I think our running game is better than theirs. So why wouldn't he come in and perform? That's all I wanted to say, though, Graham, man. Thank you, bro. Your show is great. You're a good dude, man. And keep doing your stuff, bro.
Good call, man. Thanks for calling in. That was a good call. We had a little bit of a delay, made it tough to converse. But yeah, I think Trey Lance is going to be really good too. My only thing is like, if I felt like if they had started him this year, next year you could call the Niners legit contenders. That was my whole thing. It's great to make the playoffs. The Niners have only made it 4 times since 2003, so beggars can't be choosers. But like, you're playing to win the Super Bowl. And I don't really consider the Niners Super Bowl contenders this year, although, any given Sunday, you never know what's going to happen. And then next year, it's hard to call them legit contenders when they're going to be starting a kid in his first year as a starter. But in 2023, you think, hey, Lance in his second year, maybe. That's all I'm saying. Keith, what's up, man? What do you think of that win?
What's up, bro? It was a big win, big time victory.
Big time.
Everybody's talking about Gould, and they say Gould had made 21 consecutive field goals, but I don't remember a big field goal or a game winner probably since 2019 Saints. So he makes the field goals, but the ones that are in the moment, I've seen him miss a lot more than he makes.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to hold out and we pay him, and I know our cap hit wouldn't be great if he was gone, but I'm going to tell you, I would have been more on our secondary yesterday if we would have lost. I think we lost. Nick Bosa lost a sack, and we lost an interception to illegal hands to the face twice. I don't know what we're doing in the draft in that position, but I'm like you. Your logic is totally perfect when you say when you're going to keep Jimmy Garoppolo's salary instead of spreading that throughout the team or maybe buying you a secondary, you're not in the Super Bowl window.
That's what happens. And so when people say, like, when I say, hey, you'd be better off starting Lance, it's because with Lance, you'd have $27 million more to put into places like cornerback. So that doesn't happen. The reason I picked the Bengals to win this game is because of Ambry Thomas. And frankly, if Darius Phillips hadn't muffed 2 punts, not just 1, 2, Ambry Thomas might have cost them this game. And it's like the reason I put such an emphasis on cornerback, I mean, you can have Nick Bosa, but he's not going to get you a sack every time. And if you have to cover Jamar Chase, you better have a real good athlete on the other side of him. Otherwise, it's over. It's over. And it was
and T. Higgins.
T. Higgins too, exactly, man. It takes premium athletes to cover these guys. I don't see how you can expect the 104th pick in the draft to match. Like, who the hell is? I'm sorry, who's Ambry Thomas supposed to be? He's not. The Niners built him up, and they're like,
So
he's
you got those
disappointing.
guys
No, he's a late third-round pick.
Drafted. Right. Round pick. He's doing what he's as a rookie, guarding studs. T. Higgins was a stud at Clemson. Jamar Chase was a stud at LSU. These are
you can't call Ambry Thomas a disappointment. Like he didn't play last year. He was a late third-round pick. That's what you should have expected. Pretty much.
Oh, and I do want to give respect. I've been critical, and we compare him to Saul a lot. DeMeco Ryans playing with a handicap, or he has been coaching with that secondary the way it is, and having to plug in holes with injuries. I'm going to give D'Amico Ryans more respect than what I have been lately, because he's not coaching with a full deck.
I was talking about him with a colleague the other day, and I was saying the one thing that I'd like to see from D'Amico is better pressure packages, because I haven't been impressed with his blitzes. But then yesterday with the game on the line, he had that K'Wan Williams blitz totally unblocked. Saleh used to do that a lot with the nickel. That was great.
Well,
so D'Amico's good.
Part of blitzing is that your DBs. Part of blitzing and having those packages, your DBs can hold up for a few seconds.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good point. You can't just let the quarterback get the ball and throw deep on Ambry Thomas right away. Frankly, though, the Bengals could have done that all game.
Go ahead.
Anyway.
I agree. I mean, I think it was huge, to your point. Those 2 muff punts, that changed the whole game. And we didn't really capitalize them out like we should have.
And the taunting penalty. The
The
touchdown throw to Kittle came right after the taunting penalty.
100%.
And I'm not going to complain about the taunting penalty,
I think we were very
because
fortunate to get that victory.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Bengals lost that game. I'm sorry. It seems like a party pooper thing to say the day after. The Bengals lost that game. So Niner fans, enjoy the victory. It's important, but don't take it too far. I don't know really what you proved in this game. You proved that you didn't beat yourself. You let the Bengals beat themselves. Anyway.
I'm concerned going into overtime. You had 3 points in the second half again. Second week in a row.
I just feel like it's always very intoxicating for fans when you win, but it's sobering to think of that this season still comes down to a road playoff game in Tampa or a road playoff game in Green Bay. How do you feel about that? Does winning in Cincinnati make you feel like you're good? They could beat Green Bay maybe, but that's going to be a whole lot tougher. And you know what? Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady aren't going to let Ambry Thomas off the hook.
They're going to go after him from Jump Street.
Okay, or Dante Johnson.
Right. Or Josh Norman. Another thing yesterday, now I'm going to get off here. I was looking at the records. I said, if Seattle wins, they'll be 5-. Well, they did win. They're 5-8. We went 6-6. That puts us only a game up, and they swept us. I was like, man.
I know, right?
So that was a big win yesterday.
Absolutely. Huge win. That's the thing. Like, ultimately, it doesn't matter how it happened. You got the win, and I didn't really expect him to get it. You got to win with Ambry Thomas playing.
That's right.
Ambry Thomas and Tom Compton starting. You won. Take it. I'll take it. All right, man. Have a good one. Peace. How can I become a caller? There's a link in the description and in the chat box. Click that, and then I'll let you in. Interesting how our 2-minute offense been clicking, but our 2-minute defense been struggling. Yup. Defense can't close the game. Now Bosa saved it with that sack to keep it to a field goal. Grant, how do you feel about the O-line? It's bad. Jimmy had all the time in the world to throw yesterday. No, he can't move though. But it's a bad offensive line. Also, Kittle looks shaken up the last 2 quarters. Anything on him? He has a calf injury he's been playing through all year, and he said that that turf is like concrete, and he got hit a lot. So I think it was just basically the more you use him, the more he wears down. I think that's why he hasn't been getting the ball that much. But now that the season's on the line, there's no choice. See how he holds up. AK 49er. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, family? First off, I saw you with that Starbucks cup. I'm actually about to step into Starbucks myself for my
nice.
For my refill.
Yeah. That's right.
Right here. That's my Starbucks right here.
All right. All
great
right.
minds think alike. So first off, just want to say great win yesterday. It made it a little ugly, but we won. So my question is,
not as ugly as Cincinnati, right?
I haven't been.
Dude, they fumbled 6 times. How did they do that? Every time? At a certain point, I was like, every time they got the ball, I was like, well, that's going to be a fumble. I was expecting it. First play of the game,
they look like
fumbled.
the Bungles.
Exactly. They've been the same damn team my whole life. I'm 33. I'm about to turn 34. Every time, I'm like, yep, that's Cincinnati, pretty much. That's how they do it.
Yep. So my question is, what are our chances you think of us making a 2011 New York Giants run? If you look at that 2011 Giants team, They were very similar like us. A turnover-prone quarterback in Eli, good receiving core, which ours is better, and a defense that depended too much on their pass rush and with a suspect secondary. And if you look at our team, very similar profile. Jimmy's like Eli, 2 to 3 turnover-worthy throws a game, but can come up clutch at times. Good receiving core and a defense that depends too much on its pass rush.
Interesting parallel. I'm going to have to object a little bit, though. Eli was better. Hold on. Now, Jimmy may have better regular season numbers than Eli, but Eli in the playoffs was clutch. And, people calling Jimmy Garoppolo clutch because of what he did yesterday. That was clutch. I still remember what he did in the Super Bowl. And you know what? Eli would have hit that throw to Emmanuel Sanders. No question about it. So, no, I don't. And again, in 2011, they had already won a Super Bowl. They had already beaten Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. So it's like, yeah, if the Niners had won in 2019, you'd be like, yeah, they're down a little bit. They had a slow start, but they have championship pedigree. They have championship DNA. They've done this before. The Niners haven't done this before. They don't have championship pedigree. I see what you're saying, and maybe you're right, but I don't think they have that in them. I disagree, but it's very interesting. And actually, I was down at the bar at the Westin, and there were some Niners employees sort of having the same kind of conversation. Like, is Jimmy an Eli Manning type? Can he pull this? Can he pull this off? And there was a debate. I think it's an interesting question. I would go on the no. To me, Eli Manning was a special postseason quarterback, and I haven't seen that from Jimmy. But maybe he would have to raise his game up a little bit. I think he'd have to remember. I think Eli was really freaking clutch, dude. I thought. Am I tripping here? Am I romanticizing the Eli Manning experience? I was in college at this time. I was very young, and I was pretty drunk during those games. But I don't know. I don't know.
And then there's one more thing I wanted to suggest. Next time you talk to Kyle Shanahan, here's a suggestion I have for practices.
All right.
They should mix in the ones and twos together instead of just separating them out, because you never know if the twos have to step in, considering how injury prone we are. Like in 2019, I don't know if you remember, but we had just as many injuries. But then you had guys like Emmanuel Mosley step up, Kendrick Bourne step up, Ronald Blair step up, Dre Greenlaw when Quan Alexander went down for 8 weeks. So the thing is, and right now it's like, it would be so beneficial to get Trey in some reps with the ones, as well as, some of our receivers some of our backups get some reps with Jimmy, so that they're prepared to come right in and contribute, God forbid, when the eventual injuries happen.
Right. Because a lot of times this season, the backup comes in and he looks totally unprepared. I'm with you, man.
Like if Ambry Thomas had been practicing with the ones, he would have been much better yesterday than what we saw yesterday.
Right. An injury-prone team has to prepare for these things. It's true.
Yeah.
All right, man. Have a good one.
All right, you two enjoy that Starbucks. I'm about to enjoy it myself.
All right, take it easy, man. Christian says he's a member now. Thank you, Christian. As fans, if we can say Seattle didn't beat us, we beat ourselves, then we have to use the same logic here, only reverse 100%. That's what I'm saying, man. The Niners are better than Seattle, and the Niners beat themselves. I think Cincinnati might be more talented than the 49ers. It's just that Cincinnati is a young, immature team that's a year away. They straight up had a golden opportunity to go to first place in their division and pulled the Bengals. So, I mean, I give the Niners credit for not beating themselves, because a lot of weeks they do. And a lot of weeks the competition is who can beat themselves first. And this week the Niners won that competition. But yeah, let's be honest about how that went down. Jimmy almost threw the game away with a pick six. Yeah. It was crazy. Like, that game kept teetering back and forth. And when it looked like the Niners were going to lose, fans on Twitter were so mad at everyone. And then when it looked like the Niners were going to win, all of a sudden it was like, oh, what do you think of Jimmy Garoppolo now? It's like, you were just cursing him out 2 minutes ago in my feed. It was some real wild emotional swings going on in that game. Link isn't in the description. Oh, it's not? Hold on. Oh, you're right. My bad. Sorry about that. Okay, I'll put it in the thing again because no one's in the waiting room. Boom. My bad. Jimmy was one throw away from being great. Jimmy to bench Jimmy. He threw the ball directly to Bates, who dropped the ball. I still don't trust Jimmy. Yeah, that's why that pick was so upsetting. I mean, not upsetting, but like interceptions happen, right? But with Jimmy, it's the same kind. It's the same one every time. It's you force the ball over the middle. You stared it down. The defense played cover one with the robber. The robber's eyeing you, and you telegraph it. It's the same way every time. And that's why you can't trust them. That's why, ideally, you don't throw 41 times like they did in this game. That's why you can't get the ball to George Kittle as much as you'd like, because Jimmy Garoppolo is going to do that thing that he did in this game. And really, the whole thing is like, does the defense catch it or not? And this week they didn't. Next week they might. And if you're trying to go through the playoffs to the Super Bowl, one of those games, the defense is going to catch it. I'm a downer. Hold on, put the Matt.
Oh shit! I'm on the show. Oh, what up, Grant? Oh,
Yo, what's up?
Turned up, man. Hey, man. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Hey, man. Appreciate you for letting me come on here, man. What you think about the game yesterday, man?
It was fun, man. I had a good time. I was there. Where you calling from?
I'm actually in Cleveland, bro. I'm from the Beto. I'm from like San Jose and all that. But like, bro, I'm in Cleveland.
Man? What happened?
Man, they Cleveland was happy that we beat the Bengals. They was cheering and everything. They was like, yeah, good looking. I was like, yeah. I was happy. I was having like one of the man, like I said, Nick Bosa saved the game with that third down sack on Burrow and forced that field goal, man. Like I could nitpick Jimmy all day. Of course, you know, he got the ball out to Ayuk. I'm not a Jimmy stan, so I'm not gonna come on here and just nut ride him or nothing like that. But like we did our job, and any type of road win, you got to be happy about, especially when it comes down to that. I thought we was gonna lose, bro. Like honestly, I was sweating. I'm like, oh, I think we gonna lose, but we pulled it out, man. I was happy. Brandon caught the game winner, man. Now, and next is Atlanta, bro. So like, man, appreciate it. Like I said, appreciate it for letting me come on and everything.
All right, man. Have a good one.
All right, man. Grant, take it easy, man.
All right, too. You too. MJ.
Give me 1 second, or just
all right.
And
all
then
right, hold on. Yo, what's up, Rob? Hold on, we gotta work on Rob's connection. MJ, you ready?
Yeah. What's up?
What's up?
I'm a college student, so this is quite uncomfortable to be up this early. But
sorry, I'm on the East Coast. I usually wouldn't be up this early.
No, it makes sense. I just have 2 fan base questions because again, too tired to talk football.
Sure.
So the first one is, who are you hoping to see on the elevator, and who are you hoping to avoid? Because I was just wondering, like, oh my God, if Grant sees Armstead, or if Sherman were still on this team, I can only imagine how awkward that would be.
No, I'm not like nervous of someone like assaulting me, because they're not going to do that. You know, they're all worth millions of dollars, and they don't want me to, you know, I would just sue them and then I could retire. It doesn't happen. You never hear about an athlete hitting a media. It doesn't happen. So I would just be upset about like basically seeing someone that I've slandered on YouTube that I couldn't face. You know, like
Gotcha.
Someone that I've like, I don't know who it would be.
David
Debo, I
Lombardi.
read it to Debo. It's like, I only praise Debo. I call him the MVP of the league. That wasn't too bad. Adam Peters was a little awkward because I've said I don't know what he does. Wes Welker was awkward because I definitely said the Niners should fire him. So basically, I was hoping to not get stuck in an elevator with someone I said the Niners should trade or fire or cut. You know what I mean? I guess though, and luckily I didn't. So that was nice.
Were you hoping to see Jimmy or Kyle though?
Yeah, but for some reason, I just feel like they're too rich. You're not just gonna run into. They would be. You can't just run into Kyle and Jimmy, right? You run into like the other players, but
I see.
somehow
They're too
they're
rich to
probably
take the
protected
regular
in the
people
Fortress of Solitude or
elevator.
something.
They take like a special elevator.
I would think so. I would think so.
But that's really cool. I wouldn't even know what to say because, oh God, me and Debo in the elevator. But
I just started babbling like a fan. I was like, hey, nice sweater. So lame.
Yeah, my next fan base question is, since I'm kind of a younger fan, I did watch the Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick debacle.
Mm-hmm.
But what was the locker room dynamic like? Because I think you and your dad kind of mentioned that a lot of the vets hated that Kaepernick was starting over Alex and all this other stuff. But what does that look like?
It was split, and I think there were probably like arguments about it in team meetings and stuff, but the Niners were winning. Kaepernick was winning. So even people like players that felt it was wrong for Alex Smith to lose his job the way he did couldn't really argue with the results. They were winning, and they won with Kaepernick for, 2.5 years. So it was an issue, and there was a split, but it didn't cost them victories.
So what I think about almost on a daily basis is, what would things look like if Trey had won that Cardinals game? Like if Kyle had used him the right way and Trey had won, don't you think that this quarterback controversy would be talked about almost every single week more than it is today?
Yes, I do. And I think it's not what the Niners wanted. I mean, yeah, they wanted to win, but I don't think they wanted Jimmy Garoppolo to become a backup quarterback this year. Because a backup quarterback making $27 million is worth nothing in a trade. A starting quarterback with a winning record theoretically is worth, a late third. So I just don't think it was ever something the Niners wanted. They don't want Trey to take over for Jimmy now, because that way then Jimmy's just sunk cost, and they don't want sunk cost at that point. It seems pretty clear they're trying to get something for Jimmy. That's a huge priority for the 49ers. Huge priority.
I know. It's just really confusing to see all this, because I think when you trade up, you assume you're going to use that guy and build around him, not just keep him in the closet.
I think they felt they couldn't get rid of Jimmy this year because he had guaranteed money on his contract, 2 years left, a no trade clause. But I think they felt they didn't like the quarterbacks in this draft. Get the quarterback this year, and then it'll be much easier to trade Jimmy Garoppolo this year because 1 year left, no guaranteed money. I don't necessarily agree with the plan, but I think that was the plan. I do think they fully intend to trade Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, John Lynch might be trying to change people's minds in the background, but I think the Yorks, the coaches, the plan is to trade Jimmy Garoppolo this offseason, and I think it should be doable if the Niners pick up a lot of the money and accept a pretty low pick. They should be able to get rid of him.
My thing is, will they accept the low pick?
Well, the more money they pay, they can pay for a better pick. So let's say Carolina makes a terrible decision and decides to trade for Jimmy instead of drafting a quarterback. Maybe the Niners say, we'll pick up X amount of the contract, and you give us a fourth, a third, something like that.
Yeah, that makes
Could
sense.
happen.
Because I was thinking,
but it's going to take a team that actually wants to do this and not draft a quarterback.
No. I mean, I know how you feel about Jimmy, but there are going to be some desperate teams out there, especially with this quarterback class. Maybe one or two that'll be decent, but I envision the Steelers being an option, New Orleans maybe being an option, Carolina definitely being an option. Yeah. But my only drawback was the $27 million. Like you said, if the Niners pick up half, which I don't know that they will, I don't know. This organization is so unpredictable, then I can see it happening.
Yeah. Remember, they also got to extend Debo and Bosa, so there's going to be there's going to be some reason to do it. MJ, I got to take some more calls, but good stuff, man. Go to sleep.
Oh God, yeah, I will. Bye.
All right, later, man. Chewy, dude, what's up?
Grant, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm all right, man. How are you?
Pretty good, man. So what I wanted to talk about, everybody's talking about the quarterback. I mean, everybody's talked about that enough. I was wondering how you see the team going forward for the rest of the season, because I think they've been in a lot of tough games so far this year, and they're sort of learning what to do and learning how to win these games. And I think it's actually kind of a good thing. I'm not going to say, hey, 49ers are going to go win the Super Bowl or anything, but
you already said that. I saw it on Twitter.
I did say that, and I said I'm getting the feeling, because I watched the Tom Brady special or whatever. Yes. I'm getting the Giants feelings from this team. Like nobody, the way they started off this year, nobody was really buying them, and I think they're sort of finding themselves. George Kittle is coming into his own. Brandon Ayuk is coming back on. They have Debo, who's the dominant force. I mean, they're really starting to put it all together, I think, at the right times. And they're learning to win close games. Like early in the year, they made a mistake with Green Bay, right? They left too much time on the clock for Aaron Rodgers. They're not making those same kind of mistakes anymore. I don't remember. I think it was last week against Seattle, right before halftime. They had started getting a little bit of momentum, and I saw Jimmy Garoppolo in the huddle telling the guys to come into the huddle, to calm down, slow it down, because they didn't want to leave any time left for the Seahawks to get the ball back. So I think they're starting to learn the lessons that they were failing at early in the year, and I think that's going to help them going forward into the playoffs when every game is, more than likely going to be close. What are your thoughts on that?
I think the Bengals beat themselves yesterday. I think the Niners were clutch at the end, but it's like the Bengals built this huge hole and then almost dug themselves out of it. But you lose 90% of the time when you lose the turnover ratio by 2.
And I totally agree. I mean, I think I cannot believe that they fumbled the ball so many times.
What the hell was that?
I've never seen anything like that. It looks like they just were totally caught up in the moment or something.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't watched a lot of Cincinnati. That's what people say about them is like they're good, but they're really young and they kind of beat themselves when they do lose, and I can see it. But it's weird. Like, you're at home. What's up? You're at home. You have a chance to go into first place, and you don't show up. I mean, at least the Niners showed up. Freaking showed up. No, that was good. Yeah.
I mean, you've said it a couple times that you don't know if they're pretenders or contenders. Where
they dug a hole for themselves early in the season. And yeah, it's nice that they're finding themselves now, but like, damn, 0-4 against Arizona and Seattle. That's rough.
Yeah,
it's rough.
All right, Grant. I just wanted to jump in real quick, man. I gotta head out, but appreciate it.
All right, man. Good to see you.
All right, see you, man.
Vincent.
Hey, what's going on, Grant? Can you hear me okay?
Man, good to see you.
Hey, I just want to know, man, with the rest of the schedule, you think any chance it might be where we could see Trey Lance get some packages to at least prepare him in case if we make the playoff runs, what they should make, in case Jimmy gets injured? Any chance that you think they might do some goal line packages before the end of the season?
I keep calling for it every week, and they don't do it. They haven't played him since he started against Arizona. I'm starting to feel like we're not going to see him. What do you think?
I mean, that's how I feel already.
Yeah.
We're not gonna.
I don't know why.
It would add another dimension to the team, though. So
I don't know. I really feel like they would have beaten Seattle if they had used Lance at the goal line. You had 4 plays inside the 7. Give him 1.
Yeah, that's
1-4.
At least with the running ability too, and the pass, I think they would have beat Seattle on that if he had been enough for the goal line pass.
So I mean, are they gonna drop another game because they were? I don't know, maybe not, but we'll see. I mean, they got another tough game coming up in Tennessee.
Oh yeah, on the short week.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll see what happens. To me, it's inexcusable to lose a game and not use one of your weapons. So as long as they keep winning, it's fine.
And will Henry be back for that game? Or
I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet. I'm focused on Atlanta.
Yeah, because that'll get us some more separation.
Yeah, you got to win that game. And every time the 49ers are in a position where the whole world expects them to win a game, that's when you got to worry about them because they're not that good. They're decent, but they could lose to Atlanta. They've lost to Seattle twice. They need to come into these games with the same urgency every single time, and they don't always. So don't. The last time they played Atlanta at home, they lost.
Yeah, I remember that. So I'm hoping they go ahead and take care of business against Atlanta because that'll give them even more separation. I mean, they're close to actually catching the Rams. The Rams is right there. So
it's true. Go get that 5th seed so they can play Dallas instead of Tom Brady. All right, man. I got to take more calls.
All
Good
right,
to see you, Vincent.
All right.
Later. Tyler, what's up, dude? Oh man, you're muted, man.
There we go.
Oh, you're back. There you go.
Grant, I just gotta say, I got raised by your dad and Tim and Matt Barrows back in the day.
Nice.
So that's where I'm coming from. We're the same age, and
nice.
I just gotta say, your dad's exchange with Johnny or Jed back in the day, my favorite exchange of all time.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's more to that story.
I don't think Jed's recovered from that fully yet. That was tough.
Maybe you should fire yourself, Jed. I think.
Can
we
you
have a
imagine
different-
me being 15 when I would get in trouble and have to sit
I
across
can't
from
imagine.
him? That was
I
tough.
can't imagine social media now with your dad if he was still day in and day out, because people think you're a hater or you're just trying to.
Dude.
Anyways, I think me and you have a similar perspective because of the way we grew up. We're both in our 30s. The Niners were terrible from 2000 to 2010.
From middle school till about
it wasn't
the
cool
end
to
of
be a
college.
Niner fan.
Yeah.
It wasn't cool to be a Niner fan.
No.
Until Harbaugh came in.
Right.
We had a couple good ones, and then we had a couple bad ones, and now we're
Right.
back to one good one, a couple bad ones. Overall, I just think the Niners got lucky last night. I think Jimmy is lucky.
No. There was a special spin that Mitch Wishnowsky put on his balls that forced Darius Phillips. It was Wishnowsky.
I think if that guy doesn't drop that pick, we're having a completely different conversation after 2 losses in a row. Jimmy should be thanking the football
If they lose
guys.
that game on a pick six by Jimmy, can you imagine what people be saying right now?
Oh, I was ready for it. Can you
imagine?
I just wanted to say I've always appreciated. I just found you last year during COVID. I've been a huge fan of your dad, you. And anyways, I think my biggest thing is I think the Niners are scraping by. I wish I felt better about it.
Yeah,
but it feels lucky. It feels
scraping
like
by is a good way to put it.
Man, we barely got. It's just so many different things. Of course, you can say that all the time, but
we didn't blow it against Cincinnati. Yeah. They fumbled 6 times and we won by 3. That's what I'm talking about. Nice.
I just want to say, man, I appreciate everything you do. Keep up the good work.
Hey, great call, man. Calling
anytime. Tell your dad he's got big fans out there.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, Tyler.
All right, Grant.
Take later. Karan.
How are you?
I'm all right. I'm still in Cincinnati.
I was in Cleveland. I was in Ohio as well. I was in Cleveland yesterday, so I thought of you. So, hey, a couple things. One, I find it fascinating that outside of the division, it seems like when other teams play the 49ers, it's like the first time they've ever seen a team like
every time
run or like, hey, maybe we should cover 85, because it's almost comical, both on defense and on offense, because you know what they're going to do. Pete Carroll, Arizona, the only team that really hasn't figured them out is the Rams.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, when they play like these non-conference games, they outcoach the coach, and it's almost like, do you not see what Seattle did?
Did you not do your homework? Did you not watch the game last week?
Do you not see what Colt
the Bengals
McCoy?
Came into me, the attitude, the feeling I got was like, we're gonna do what we want to do. We're gonna establish the run. It's like, no, man, you got Ambry Thomas on the field. Throw at him. What are you doing? And they finally in the fourth quarter, they were like, oh man, backs against the walls, guys. What are we gonna do? Oh, now you figure it out? Nice.
I mean, nice. No offense. My, 8-year-old daughter was watching the game, and when Ambry Thomas went down, she looked at me and basically very nicely said, that's not such a bad thing, is it? I go, probably.
I mean, it's bad for Ambry. It's
Ambry, but probably not bad for the
be better.
defense.
The next man up's going to be better. So sorry, Ambry.
Yes. But it's almost too like comical. I'm very fascinated what Tennessee's going to do against the team on a short week. They won't be prepared. They won't have any idea that outside of George Kittle and Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk on third down, they have nothing. Stack 8 men. Put few linebackers and safeties in blanketed coverages, and Jimmy's going to throw a couple of picks because he can't help himself.
Yeah.
It's a very easy recipe. The only thing I will say is that if that wide receiver, number 15, can catch that back shoulder catch more often, even if he can do it once or twice a game, gosh, that opens up the field so much, because that's something I haven't seen in almost 3 years. That throw is something that Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady go to on almost every critical play, because they know that it's a 50-50 ball, low percentage wise interception. And guess what? If the wide receiver is any good, he's going to fake enough or make a enough of an issue where the referee's got to call pass interference.
Yep.
It's so, but rarely
Well,
do
also,
you see
when was
that
the last
happen.
time the Niners had a wide receiver who could make that catch? Like, no offense to
Correct.
Deebo Samuel, but that's an Anquan Bolden catch.
I was
Right?
just going to say, outside of Anquan Bolden, who can make that catch?
And a quarterback like Jimmy, who's good but not great, who's accurate but not super precise, could really use a wide receiver like that. So nice.
Yeah, and
I mean, every
Jimmy,
quarterback could use a receiver like that. Let's be frank.
correct. Jimmy's got to trust you, bar none, to throw to you. And then he almost throws to you to default. But just having that opens up the offense because then he can't crowd the middle. He can throw that throw. And that throw is a really safe throw. It doesn't look safe, but the corner's back's turned. The receiver can see it. And it's high. And he's 6'3".
If you miss it, it's incomplete. Yeah.
Correct.
Right.
And that throw, they should be practicing day in and day out if this defense, if the offense is going to take quote unquote the next level.
One of my main critiques after the Seattle game was that all those snaps and targets that went to Sherfield that should have went to Jennings. Niners made that adjustment right away. No offense to Sherfield, but he's been on ice. Jennings has been gradually improving. Go with Jennings.
And you know what? Jennings looks like, I don't know, he probably could catch a ball in the end zone and not have it slapped away, on a critical 3rd and goal with about 20 seconds left in a game. I'm not saying that it wouldn't.
I was picking it with his uncle at the bar at the Westin. He's a good guy, good family. But yeah, man, come on. Absolutely.
That's something you can't teach. Either you have a knack for catching contested balls or you don't. Or you don't. That's just something you can't teach. It's like route running. You either have it or you don't. The other point is that, look, Jimmy, I understand Jimmy won the game, and I understand that he's a B quarterback. But guess what? For all those people that want more, okay. I mean, as a 49er fan who's lived, who's 36, I saw a lot of F, D, C- quarterbacks. Am I the only one that's like, okay, I'm okay with the B quarterback? Where it gets tricky is that they're paying him like an A- quarterback. I think that's the problem. I think that had they paid him like 15, 20, we wouldn't have these issues. We would go back to Jimmy's a winner. Jimmy finds a way to win the game. He's being paid like, he's Patrick Mahomes. He's in Aaron Rodgers' class. I get it. But I don't think Trey Lance might be great. He may not be good. No one here can tell us for a certain amount of fact that 100% he's going to be a B-level quarterback. Can you? No, you're projecting. That could either go really well or really not. Has he has tool sets? Yes. But I haven't seen him. I have a known commodity. And I think people are losing track of that. I think people are also losing track that NFL means wins. You need to win games in order to be a coach, be a GM, have your assistants. You need to have winning football associated with you. What options does Kyle have other than playing Jimmy Garoppolo and riding him? Well, I mean, honestly, he has none. He's not a winning coach. He's lost the majority of his seasons except one. It's an aberration. He's got to put winning seasons together. He can do that with a B-level quarterback because he can game plan. The other thing that's disappointing is that he honestly spent maybe 10 minutes developing Trey Lance, developing a game plan for Trey Lance this season. He was all in with Jimmy because he wants to win. Doesn't want to develop Trey Lance because guess what? He'd have the same record as the quarterback in Chicago.
Karan, clinging to an overpaid game manager might keep you competitive. It might keep you above 500. But, I mean, it's not a way to build a Super Bowl team, and that's all I care about. So, to me, I'm looking at Arizona. What Arizona did was they drafted Josh Rosen, and they got it wrong. And the next year, they drafted another guy. The Niners, you know what they do? They extend Jimmy Garoppolo, and it's a mistake. And they don't move on. They keep him on the freaking roster, and it's not a mistake. It wasn't a mistake. No, it was good. It's a good contract. Oh, Jalen Hurd is injured. We're going to keep him on the team for 3 years. Arizona moves on. The Patriots move on. And you just draft another guy. You know what? It's easy to fix. It's not that. The problem with the Niners and Trey Lance is you spent 3 first-round picks on him. Because really, you could have just drafted whoever was there at 12. And if he was good, great. If not, you draft another one next year. It's not that hard because you don't need him to be great. You got to be great to give him the second contract. But you just got to be good to get the first contract. And the Niners are they don't
I get it. But they're winning. But Grant, 2-14, 4-12. They're 7-6. They're 7-6. They're the 6th out of 16 teams. As a 49er fan, I have seen that 3 times in the last
I was
15
a Warrior
years.
fan as a kid, all right? And the Warriors always sucked when I was a kid. And then there was when I was in college, they made this run as an 8th seed. And it was exciting. And everyone was like, well, we got to keep this team together. Like, no, it's not going anywhere. You don't just want to be an 8th seed because it's fun to be in the playoffs. No, where is the path to the finals? There isn't one. Start over. Build a team that and they did it. They freaking did it. And the thing about the Niners,
got 2 generational shooters.
They have a championship core. No, you don't. You lost in the Super Bowl. Right. Anyway, Karan, you're killing it, man. I got a bunch of more people, and then I got to pack.
No, by all means, go ahead.
Yep. But I like when we argue about Jimmy. It was good fun. It was a good time. All right, man.
Bye.
Later. Voice ad agency, man. We got to talk.
Yes, sir.
What's up?
How you doing, Grant? Big fan of your show, bro.
You hear me? I'm good.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
All right. What's on your mind?
All right. So you want to hear about the Jacksonville experience with the team doc? Okay. So we're in Jacksonville. We're eating at Morton Steakhouse, which is right by the Hyatt Regency. And it's a sea of red in this hotel. Just quick shout.
Hyatt Regency. Got it.
Yeah. So quick shout out to you. If you were there, if you would have made the trip, I would have definitely had a Grey Goose on rocks at Morton's for you. Just so you know.
All right. All right.
But anyways, this guy is sitting with his daughter, like right across from our table, and he's real attentive. And the reason the girls that we were sitting with just saw that, and they were complimenting him about being a very attentive dad and everything else. So he starts talking with us, and he says he's a team doc from ATL. Well, if you remember my comments, I'm always talking about the trainers and the soft tissue injuries, the setbacks. I pissed off your dad for making a comment one time with that on your show. Tell him respectfully, I apologize to him about it. But I asked the guy.
Because in the history, there's been a lot of trainers who've gotten flack that didn't deserve it.
Yeah,
and he knows that, and he knows these trainers. But Ben Peterson isn't one of them. Keep going.
Yeah, so I asked him about the soft tissue injuries and everything else. And once he kind of noticed, because we were not wearing 49ers gear or anything like that, so he probably let his guard down. But once he found out that I was a 49er fan, he kind of got a little bit defensive, which why I think he's legit.
Okay.
So he was basically saying that if it's multiple setbacks, that's an issue. If you notice, at the time of that game, they had a Thursday night game. ATL did. So that's why I'm speculating that he was there, because Jacksonville is not too far from ATL, to meet up with Kyle and see if there was
Kyle
a
must know him, right? Kyle must know him.
Yeah. So that was the other thing that I was going to bring up to you, is that that's typical Kyle Shanahan, is that he's going to bring in somebody he knows. He's not going to bring in someone that, is renowned and, like that can fix his problem. Let me bring in somebody that I got a personal relationship to fix this problem. It's kind of notorious.
Ricky, man. Call up Ricky. What's Ricky up to? Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so what you're telling me is the scapegoat this season is going to be Ben Peterson, and most likely they're going to bring in someone from the Atlanta days. Hey, that makes sense to me. I can see it happening.
Well, he's not a trainer, so he's a doctor. But I forget the person that you were speaking with. It's not Vish, it's not Jason, it's not the team coach, but they always go on about the trainers and the team's physicalness. And she was talking about both the reverse one. Yes. Yeah. So she mentioned a very interesting point, that it just bringing in a trainer isn't going to do the job, because of the setbacks. They're going to have to kind of change the whole guard.
Right.
So that's where it makes sense that, all right, we're going to get a team doc, probably going to look at different trainers and everything else. It just kind of fits right now.
Hey, you are a much better journalist than I am. Investigative voice ad agency. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate you.
No,
That
no
was great.
problem. You
See,
know, I got
you learned
you.
stuff at Morton's on a Saturday night. Saturday night before the game? Was it
Yeah,
Friday?
it was Saturday night.
Yeah. See, from now on the road, I'm going to Morton's and just I'm gonna have like my little Groucho Marx, like a little fake mustache and stuff, like the Humpty, like, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, I gotta take some more calls, but good to see you, man.
I appreciate you.
Peace. There you are.
My man.
What's up?
It's good to see you.
Good to see you too, man. What do you think?
Couple things. That last guy, I don't know what his name is. He's a freaking genius. I've been talking about the training room for the last couple years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Secondly, last night, I'm blaming Kyle. We almost lost that game, and I think it was Kyle's fault. I'm going to tell you why. I see the look on your face, and I love when you have that look.
I'm with you. I just wasn't expecting anyone to say this today. Let's go.
I haven't heard it. Listen, man, since we all we got to do is go back to the Atlanta days. Fourth quarter, we lose. They lost that game. Now we're a couple years removed. Okay, we got the engine on the track. We're rolling down, and we have a catastrophic collapse in the fourth quarter. It seems to me that for whatever reason,
right?
Say it again.
It felt like the Super Bowl again. You're up.
Yes.
It's the fourth quarter. You're passing, and then you what? Yeah. What happened? Yep.
It just feels like for whatever his rhythm is, whatever he gets into, like he's not able to process how to win a game. It's not get as many points as possible. He doesn't know how to protect the lead. We should have that game should have been much easier to win last night, man.
Right, we didn't. If Jim Harbaugh had gone up 17-6 or 20-6 on that team, he just would have smothered them. It would have been an ugly, boring, grim game, and they would have won.
Right.
By, 10,
exactly.
10 yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And then the other thing is, I'm not going to spend too much time here because we've been talking about this all season. But good grief, Jimmy. Good grief. You know, he made some clutch passes last night, but I submit to you, Grant, that those are 50-50 balls and that they can go just the other way. They could be just as bad.
They're not exactly precise throws. These
No,
guys made some great catches.
That's why you got cats laying out all over the field. Remember when I told you about throwing receivers open? Joey Burrow did that last night. I don't know the cat's name that he threw. It was a long ball, and it was off to the right side of the field. I don't remember the cat who caught it, but it looked like he wasn't able to catch that ball, and then out of nowhere, the receiver kept running. Ball drops right in his basket. That's throwing your receiver open. Jimmy does not do it, and I'm just about tired of the whole Jimmy Garoppolo experience at this point, man. That's the truth. That is the truth.
Yeah. I'd like to see that because again, I'm looking at Cincinnati. I'm like, all right, they're not ready yet, but next year, that's a Super Bowl contender. The Niners, like, where is your window? You're still committed to the old window, but you should be focused on the new window, which you're not even going to open until next year. It's I don't know, strange.
You talk about Cincinnati, and Cincinnati to me looks like a team that I'm very scared of right now. I am scared out of my mind of the Arizona Cardinals because I saw when they drafted Kyler Murray. If you remember the first year, Kyler Murray was an animal, but the rest of the team sucked.
It did.
I was like, man, if they ever build a team around this dude, it's about to be problems. And that's exactly what they did. And the Bengals look like they're on that same kind of path.
Last year, the Niners beat Arizona. They beat Arizona with CJ Beathard, right? And it's like, oh, Arizona's pretend. No one took Arizona seriously this offseason. Look at them now. Imagine what Cincinnati's going to be next year with a little bit more maturity, plus some free agent signings and another first-round pick. It's going to be
they're going to be scary. But there is a glimmer of hope. Yeah. The glimmer of hope is if we can get Kyle some help, because I don't think we need to get rid of him. As much as I've thought about it, I think that he needs to concentrate on calling the game and let other coordinators take care of the rest of the team. Because we have the same opportunity that the Arizona Cardinals have. Listen, this kid Lance, listen, we can spend all day on it, but the fact of the matter is, he's perfect for this offense. He was literally bred in a system of run and play action. I mean, Jimmy,
Also, if you have a run first team, I want the quarterback to be able to contribute that. I don't want 10 on 11 football, and he can. He's the only that will improve the run game.
In his first year, the first game against Seattle, Lance was 5.5 yards per carry. The game that we lost to against Arizona, it was 6 yards per carry. And this is a guy who technically doesn't know what the hell he's doing yet. That's garbage. That's garbage.
Right.
I think that there's politics.
Quarterbacks is actually they can get on the field quicker than pocket quarterbacks. You just have to let them run.
Yes.
As long as you feature their skill set, they can get on the field immediately and win. Which is like, so the Niners, they're taking this a very old school approach. Let's sit him on the bench and turn him into a pocket quarterback so that he'll be great. Nah, man, just put him on the field. Let him play and run around. He's cheap. You can put a good team around him. You win, but they're playing it like it's 1997. Okay, fair enough. He better be. Better be great when he's coming off this 2 or 3 year layoff. You know what I'm saying?
Not only that, it's better for the rest of our offense because that offensive line is struggling. They don't have any idea how to block for a guy that can extend plays. Right. They don't have any idea how to do that.
Right.
So we got to get some work. I'm really not optimistic of the rest of the season. Even if we do make the playoffs, is really just save Kyle and John as much as I'm concerned, because I don't really see us going anywhere.
So they'll keep themselves employed. That's what happened. They kept themselves.
That's employed. It. That's pretty much it.
Fair enough. Yeah. All right, man. Great call.
Hey, Grant, man. I appreciate what you do, man. It's always good to hear from you.
I love hearing from you too, man. Anytime.
All right, buddy. All right. Yep.
Ben, take us out. What's up, Ben?
Hey, Grant. How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. I just wanted to first talk a little bit about Kittle, man. You were so down on this guy a few weeks ago. I remember he was coming back from an injury. You know, you're talking about, oh, he's not getting enough balls. I'll just say this, like, you know, I tend to agree with a good amount of what you're saying, but I always felt like Jimmy just wasn't getting Kittle the ball. I feel like if you watch some of those games when he was coming back, it was a little tough. And I think, you know, some of what you're saying about his weight and him trying to work through that calf is right, for sure. I hear you. But I also think Jimmy was just missing him for a while there.
Hold on. Why do you think Kittle's getting the ball all of a sudden? Because I called him out.
Oh.
Hey, it's reverse psychology quality control. I'm taking the W for that one. That was all me. Get him the ball. I basically I feel like I did what Steve Young's doing with Trey Lance. Steve Young's over there being like, I guess you're saying Trey Lance sucks then, huh? I guess you're saying he sucks then, huh? Kind of like forcing, kind of like daring the Niners to play him. I was daring the Niners to throw the ball to Kittle. I guess you're saying he sucks then, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he doesn't suck. Okay.
Well, and I just think, you know, especially in this last game, and you mentioned the Jennings thing. So, like, I love seeing them getting Jennings involved as the last receiver, because I think he's much better than anyone else, like Sherfield, Benjamin, anyone. Like, if you're going to go to another pass catcher, it's got to be him. But what I did like from this last game from Kyle in particular is that he kind of spread the ball around. And the way he spread the ball around between Ayuk, Kittle, and Debo, I kind of feel like, maybe Kittle doesn't get 10 catches every game, but with the amount of touches every guy got, I'm pretty happy with that. And considering what they were doing before and how they were spreading around the ball before, I just think they're doing a much better job with that right now, at least after the Cincinnati game. Specifically, with Ayuk, they're just hitting him more and more. Like you were watching some of the film with Jack, and I was watching that too. And it's just, he's open so often, but it's not throws that Jimmy's necessarily going to make. And now, I don't know, maybe there's a little more pressure on him, but Ayuk is just getting the ball more and more. So I feel like the target distribution was really good after this game, especially with Jennings as that fourth guy in terms of targets. I liked how they spread the ball around.
I thought they were too pass happy though. I know a lot of those passes came at the end when they were,
right,
and they had to throw, but like,
they still need to run the ball more.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff Wilson Jr. had a good game, and like, for example, 5 sacks, 2 drop picks, not just one. There was one. Yeah. So it's like, it's predictable. They're not really built to play that way.
And that's not a reflection of Jimmy, them spreading the ball.
No, it's Kyle.
Yeah.
No, Kyle. Like, for example, in the fourth quarter, there was a 2nd and 8 on the final drive for the 49ers. They called a pass. He got sacked. they could have put the game away there. Instead, Cincinnati gets the ball back, drives down the field, scores a touchdown, puts it into overtime. Like, that call was a mistake. And if the Niners lose, you're looking at the 5 biggest reasons they lost. That call is one of them, along with, other things.
The missed interception, the dropped interception. Yeah. No, I feel Grant. And honestly, I think like most people who we felt the same way about Jimmy, since the last 2 years, like nothing's changed. Nothing has changed. And like, I love how, the Jimmy Garoppolo defenders after this game are like, hey, look what happened. We got it. We did it. A 7-play drive. It's like, well,
that's great.
It's great.
You squeaked out a win over Cincinnati, man. Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Nice.
Exactly. I don't know, Grant. I wanted to end it off on this for you. I know all offseason, like I think one of the first things I talked to you about was the Bucs actually, and how they built their team and how much they were spending on the quarterback position and all that. Yeah. It's just funny to me that this is all coming around in the end, because it really does feel like an issue where if they had more depth at other positions, they'd have at least a better chance to win a Super Bowl. Although I still don't think they would quite be winners, No,
I wrote this down last night, partially for you, but since the rookie wage scale has been in effect, 2011.
Oh yeah.
Here are the quarterbacks who have won Super Bowls. All right. Tom Brady 4 times.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning once. Eli Manning once. So 6 of them have been by NFL royalty. Great quarterbacks who were making a lot of money. The other 4 winners: Joe Flacco, who was making 4.8% of the cap; Russell Wilson, who was making 0.5% of the cap; Nick Foles, who was making 0.9% of the cap; and Patrick Mahomes, who was making 2.4% of the cap. Unless you have Tom Brady, you're probably going to need a pretty cheap quarterback to win the Super Bowl. That's been the pattern the last 11 years, 10 years.
Well, and even with Nick Foles, right? They had Wentz that year who was still on his rookie deal. So it's not like we're talking about a team that, like the 49ers, who are so overinvested in the position. Like that's the thing that's bothering me about not just like this team this year. Obviously, like you and I talked about that this offseason. It is what it is, and nothing was going to change going into the season. But moving forward, I do really question their team building, because they do value certain positions in a way where, like outside of quarterback even, right? The fact that they took a guard at spot 48 instead of taking a corner and then taking a guard, like it's just things like that where they have logical inconsistencies with the rest of the league, where the league values certain positions, not even corner, right? But just think about guard and running back, how the 49ers have invested so much in those positions when, I mean, they just don't necessarily need to, or they should later on. I mean, especially like the interior defensive line thing, like how much they've invested in Armstead and Kinlaw when they're getting the production they are out of DJ Jones and Kevin Givens. Like, that's
Ben, I got to catch a flight. Good call. Yeah. It's always nice to hear from you, man.
No, it's nice to hear from you, Grant. I appreciate the time. Thanks.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too.
Sorry to end the show like that. I'm gonna take all your questions real quick. Christian says Cincinnati said, Niners, you ain't taking this L from us. Yeah, Cincinnati has been snatching defeat from the jaws of victory for a very long time. Robbie Gould sucks. Miss a field goal every game, it seems. Sorry, Robbie. Is next year going to come down to pay Bosa, Debo, or keep Jimmy? No, they're going to get rid of Jimmy. You can't. If they keep Jimmy and get rid of Niner fans would revolt. I don't think they're about to let that happen. Can we give big props to our man Ayuk on that toe drag swag touchdown? Grant was right about him. Hey, yeah. Yep. I put that video out there. All of a sudden, he's getting some targets. Aziz is the GOAT of Cohn phone. Changed my mind. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely the GOAT of the Cohn phone. Kittle going off like he is almost frustrated. I feel like he hasn't been utilized correctly since the beginning of the 2019 playoffs. Agree. Good for him, man. Good for him. They really put him on ice since then. Oh. What do you think about that Peter King story this morning about Niners not being certain about trading Jimmy this offseason? I call BS. I knew it. Okay, Peter King was there yesterday. I was like, okay, who's he talking to today? I bet you, I'm guessing, John Lynch, again, talked to Peter King. Peter King said that stuff. I mean, John Lynch said that stuff. Again, John Lynch whispering, I'm guessing, to anyone who will listen about this Jimmy stuff. Not surprised. I was waiting to see what Peter King was going to write because I knew he was there. He actually had the seat next to me, but didn't sit there. He was never watching the game. I don't know where he was. It wasn't at his seat. Probably maybe watching on television. So many times yesterday, I was pointing out to my buds that don't watch the Niners here in Chicago how a quarterback capable of leaving the pocket could have extended plays and drives. No. You're not. You just have to stand still, and if there's any pressure, you just go down. That's how you play quarterback. It's not his fault. It's not his fault. Stop saying it's his fault. Oh, everyone always blames Jimmy. It's not fair. All right, that's it. That's the show. I got to catch a flight. Get the hell back to the West Coast. Thanks for spending your morning with me. I'll see you guys around. Take care.